Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Fat and Fucked, where fat sex and fat justice collide, with myself, Susie Hooker, and my co-host, Dr. Krista Nauber. We are so thrilled to be joined today by the three co-founders of PhillyFatCon, Adrienne Ray, Danelle Jagman, and Kenyetta Harris. Adrienne, she, her, is a Temple U grad that worked in advertising for a decade before opening Curve Conscious, which is a plus-size resale store. That was in 2016. After 7 wonderful years, Curve Conscious had to close its doors after her boutique was named one of the best places to shop by Philly.com, Best of Philly Budget-Friendly Shopping by Philly Mag, and a top 5 thrift/consignment store in the Delaware Valley. Adrienne continues to be a champion for plus-size equity and inclusion and sustainability. And when she's not busy planning the biggest fat-focused convention of the year, PhillyFatCon, she enjoys traveling, true crime podcast, and learning new languages. Danelle Jagman, she, her, works as a healthcare strategist and has a passion for sustainable living, secondhand clothing, and community building. In 2021, she created the Plus Philly Swap, which is a clothing swap dedicated to plus-size clothing, founded on the principles of sustainability, and aims to keep textiles out of landfills by offering plus-size people the opportunity to swap, buy secondhand, mend, and recycle their clothing. Danelle was recognized as an emerging leader by women in healthcare in 2022, and she serves on her town's Environmental Advocacy Council. And last but certainly not least, we've got Kenyetta Harris, she, her. Kenyetta is a Pennsylvania native whose life work has been surrounded in promoting wellness, transformation, and confidence. She's a board-certified physician assistant practicing psychiatry. In addition to her professional career, she founded Curvy and Seductive, which is a plus-size lingerie brand whose mission is to encourage plus-size women to fully embrace the magnetism of their own sexiness. Kenyetta continues this theme as a pole fitness instructor, teaching countless plus-size students the art of the pole dance. This trio co-founded PhillyFatCon in the fall of 2022 and immediately started planning for Philadelphia's first fat-focused convention. Welcome, all of you, and thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm so glad to be here.
I'm so glad I don't have to do that part. That is always a challenge. And also, can we start by talking about the magnetism of our sexiness? Because that is my new favorite phrase. I love it.
Magnetism of sexiness.
Of our sexiness.
Ooh, our collective sexiness.
Yes.
Yes.
Susie, where's your glasses, baby? Because I think that's what's doing it over here.
That's what's holding us back. Well, they're in the other room, unfortunately, but
you do wear glasses.
I wear readers for when I cross stitch, and they're giant and ridiculous, but I love them.
They're adorable.
Cross-stitching.
They're
Cross-stitching
sexy.
only.
Yeah.
Seriously, only cross-stitching. That's all I need it for, is those tiny little holes to stab thousands of times.
And maybe reading podcast bios. We're giving you a hard time.
That's all right. I can take it.
We're coming in hot here. I like that. So tell us the origin story of how you three got connected.
This is such a fun story because it was very gradual and also a little serendipitous. I met Adrienne for the first time when I visited her shop years ago. I moved to Philly in 2016, and that's when we met. And then when I founded the Plus Swap in 2021, Adrienne partnered with me on that and really helped me share the message of it and sell out tickets. So Adrienne was there the first year with me. She brought clothes. Her wife actually came too to sell cheesecakes. And in that interim, for the second one, we actually met Kenyetta. Kenyetta went looking for Curve Conscious to go shopping there. Unfortunately, had closed at that time.
Yeah. So I was doing in-person pop-ups to give my customers an opportunity to shop in person, because a lot of them were having a hard time with that transition. And so I was doing a pop-up at a mall, and I saw Kenyetta walking through. She was about to walk through this small business area that was set up for, vendors and things like that. And she had on this bright green dress. It was summertime, and she was bouncing through there, just really floating and gliding through the mall. And I was like, I need to stop this queen to let her know about Curve Conscious, give her a card, So I literally stopped in front of her and I was like, hi, have you ever heard of Curve Conscious? I'm here today. You can browse the racks. And she was like, actually, I just went to your store yesterday looking for you. And I said, did you know that I was going to be here today? She's like, no, I'm here for something else. So
Oh my
that's how Kenyatta and I met first.
Yeah.
Was that summer of
Yes.
2022. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
had no idea she was in the mall. I happened to be in the mall that day because it was like Father's Day and I really needed a gift for my dad. And so I'm running through, and of course run into Adrian. And that's how we
Well, she didn't have a
acquainted.
choice. I put my body in front of hers.
We actually didn't give Kenyatta a choice in any of this.
And
And
yes.
then
Glad you
Yeah.
know, because I know I didn't.
and I didn't give Adrian a choice of being my friend either. Like, I just kept going to her store when I moved to Philadelphia, and I was like, I'm gonna make this lady my friend.
So it sounds like consent is not something that's really imbued in your relationship development.
No.
I mean, there's always an opt-out.
Yeah. But it's giving how to make friends in your 30s, right? You
Yeah,
just put your body in front of
Yes.
someone,
Mhm.
Yeah.
spill out all of your information and how you want to be friends with them, and they're like, okay, maybe.
And then a couple months later, I was part of a professional women's organization in Philadelphia, and I had organized this happy hour. And Adrian, being the great friend that she was like sharing it on Curve Conscious page. She showed up, and Kenyatta had seen it on her page and also showed up. And so we have a photo of the day that all three of us met together for the first time at that event. And when I found out that she had a plus size lingerie brand, I was like, you have to come be a vendor and you can sell your lingerie. Adrian's going to have a pop-up. We had Lobo Mao there. They're another Philly brand. And then that's when, at that second swap, we're all standing around like watching the magic of the swap with vendors and mending and people trying on clothes. And I think almost 100 people swapping clothes. This wasn't like your best friend's clothing swap in her bedroom. This was 100 people.
So many beautiful
Yeah.
fat bodies, like, that were all so happy. I mean, the smiles were just ear to ear. I mean, the place was buzzing, right, with
Yeah.
excitement and like people just happy to find clothes that were in great condition in their size. It was definitely a day. Yes.
That is such a unique experience. So, I mean, we're not there yet to PhillyFatCon, but my first fat clothing swap was at this past year's PhillyFatCon. And that experience of like being surrounded by clothes, like every piece I picked up fit me and was cute. And it was so much fun to be able to contribute clothes and to be able to walk away with some really cool stuff that I've been wearing for the last 6 months.
We
It was
love to
excellent.
hear that. So Adrian at some point was sitting on my couch and we're like, we got to do this bigger. Adrian had ideas about fat talent shows over the years and variety shows. And at some time on my couch, we were like, let's do it. Let's just plan and make it bigger. And then we added poor Kenyatta to a group chat and we were like, let's do it. Do you want to do this? And then in November of 2022, we all met at my house for the first time and really conceptualized what PhillyFatCon was going to be for us.
So what were the kind of ideas that you all started this conversation off of?
We wanted an event like that we wanted to go to, right? We were creating the event that we wish existed.
Yeah.
And we always knew that the swap was going to be involved, but we also wanted to provide a platform for small fat business owners. And Adrian can talk more about that, but also have an entertainment and party concept where people could let loose and be themselves. And we have a slew of guiding principles too that we can explain as well.
Ultimately, I think the base and the foundation of it is just community building. And understanding, of course, like, not all fat people are monolith. Like, everyone likes something different. There's, introverts, extroverts. There's all different types of people in the fat community and fat space. So that's why the convention has like the movement tracks. It has the speaker track. It has a swap. It has a marketplace. It has a little bit of something for everyone. There's going to be one person that wants to do the entire everything that they can possibly do. And then there's people who just are more focused on, the speakers or the talks in the marketplace, et cetera. So it was just about, giving folks in the community a place where one, they can go and experience fat joy without judgment. Two, they can learn from other people in their community through talks, and they can meet other people that maybe they've, followed online for a while as a place where people can meet in person. It was very important coming out of the sort of shutdown pandemic. I know we're still very much in COVID, but coming out of that, like to reconnect again, that was like sort of the foundation of it, was just building the community, giving people resources and giving them something to be excited about again. And so, that continues to be sort of our guiding light as we plan our third annual one.
And if you can imagine, there was nothing like this at the time when we started. We got around Donnell's table and really started thinking about this. So all of this there was no blueprint. And so it allowed us a lot of room to just dream up what type of event we wanted to go to, like Donnell said. And so in addition to providing space for a community, a place where people can kind of get out of the house and actually commune with people in person, it was really important for us to not only center fat business owners, businesses that were fat friendly and that provided services that fat people could use, but anyone who was involved in what we were trying to do, making sure that they were paying fat people for their expertise, but also making sure that the people who were involved and who were speaking were qualified, were educated in what they were talking about. We really wanted to provide quality to the community too. So talking about our principles, that was also a part of what it was too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
So how did it go from becoming an idea around Donnell's table to an actual reality?
We're just action people.
Yeah.
We already had a somewhat of a base of a structure because we knew we still wanted to have a swap. So our first PhillyFatCon was the third clothing swap. And we started planning it around the idea of having that on a Sunday, which it had historically been. But we just started writing down ideas, like, what do we want? And a really important question that I think we asked was, what can we handle the three of us doing? We all have different things that we do. We're full-time careerists. We've owned stores and businesses and have our lives as well. So, within what our dream was, we also brought it back to reality of what can we handle planning, and also what capacity do other people have for participating, from cost, from time. So we always officially start on a Saturday morning and go through Sunday afternoon, although there are pre-events and sometimes post-events. And what we really did was start thinking about the structure and the programming. So we want to have a keystone speaker. We want to have panels, and we wanted to have a movement track along with the costume party. And then we just started emailing people like crazy.
Yeah. The planning also kind of it played off of our strengths. Like we've been talking about, Donnell, this was kind of based around the clothing swap that was already existing, and it was getting ready to go into its third year. Adrienne, with her background being a consignment store owner and owning a storefront, kind of understood what it was like to vend and own a business. And so she was clued into the business aspect of owning something. And then also me with the movement, being a pole instructor and, kind of understanding what it's like to perform and be a performer as a burlesque performer in the city. We all played off our collective strengths and brought that to this. So it was like, what can we handle? But also, what can we bring to the table to make this something big too?
Our first official step was the Instagram, which, Adrienne, when did you put the Instagram up?
I recall having a meeting with someone who was an influencer, a local influencer, but we were meeting under my business to do work together. And I was describing this convention to them, and they sort of were like, oh, like a PhillyFatCon. And I was like, I'm taking that. And I literally searched for PhillyFatCon on Instagram to make sure that it wasn't taken, and it wasn't taken. So I probably, before we all met together, I had already created the account just in case. But yeah, so you got to start somewhere. I mean, Instagram, social media is a great place to get started. If you have an idea, create the account. If it doesn't exist, make it. Yeah. And then we were just like, okay, how are we going to roll this out? I mean, we met that first year, we met at each other's houses like every month. So we would just rotate, but we probably talked every day. I mean, the WhatsApp was going crazy. The notifications were sick, right? And that's why I keep my phone on silent.
And part of that, though, was, I think, even though it was stressful and it was a lot of communication the first year, it was going to be stressful regardless.
Yeah.
But that was really a foundation for us understanding each other's capacity and expectations and preferences, because we literally checked in on almost everything with each other.
Yeah.
But now it's like, oh, we know, right? Like, that would be cool. Like, I don't have to like ask them what color font to use or whatever. But yeah, that WhatsApp, like the first year, and meeting at everyone's houses, like the person we met on the weekend, you hosted lunch or ordered lunch for everyone. And we just shared around and became each other's community in that way too.
Yeah. And it was like multi-hour meetings, but we were getting a ton of work done, like a ton of ideas, outlines. Donnell is like really good at an outline. Okay. The girl loves an outline. Okay. So, you know, she had all that ready to go and would have our little printed out like monthly meeting agenda, which was great to keep us on track. But that's where, you know, all the ideas were developed, and just bouncing things off of each other, and, you know, talking about how we can make this very successful. And I want to say that we did an excellent job.
This conversation is allowing me to really reflect back on it all. And so I'm so glad we're talking about it like this, because did we know it was going to be like this? Like you said, multi-hour meetings and this level of commitment. I mean, I don't think I knew the scope of what we were getting ourselves in. But despite that, the commitment was there. And so we were going to do this. We were going to do it regardless.
So speaking of successes, what are some of the successes that you found with putting on the conference?
People came. People trusted us. People showed up. People bought tickets.
Honestly, every time someone buys a ticket, especially the first year, I don't know if people really understand. We put our name on contracts and promised to pay venues money and promised to pay speakers money and for food or whatever without having sold a single ticket. And so we like put our own finances on the line, essentially, especially the first year, because we had no idea. So every single ticket sale was a success for us. Every single one.
Yeah. Right. And with this community, I mean, the fat community, plus size community, whatever word you want to use to describe it, any type of minority community experiences some level of trauma or difficulty with trusting people in society for various reasons that we do not need to get into right now. But it's because of that we really were concerned about would people even trust us. Like, yeah, we individually had our kind of footing in Philly fat scene already individually, but would people trust us enough to like buy a ticket to something that one was never done before? No blueprint, no experience with this. This was just an Instagram page. So it's a big deal that people really even bought tickets for the first year.
Yeah. And some of the successes are also really things that we saw at an individual level with people. Certain people's emotions. I mean, even at the convention itself, people came up to us and just said, "This changed my life." And it was like Saturday at noon. You know, like we'd barely gotten into it. I think being featured in the Philly Inquirer a couple of times really showed that people were interested in this and that it was meaningful. And then NPR did a whole photo story on PhillyFatCon.
Beautiful photo story.
And sent a photographer, and she took the most beautiful portraits. And then they shared it on their socials. Seeing just how many likes, like 100,000 or something.
Wow.
We were like, oh, okay, we're doing it. Like, we're doing this again already.
I mean, I don't even think we were able to get away from that weekend without people being like, "See you next year," right? Like, we're doing this again, right? And we were like, okay, yeah. But literally, like, it took 2 months of after the convention. I was like, do not speak to me. I need to reset, because it definitely takes a lot of energy. It definitely takes a lot of patience, all of that kind of stuff. And like Donnell said, people were emotional, and they were, letting us know, giving us our flowers, which is great. I can't deal with that. Baby, don't cry in my face, because this is not the time. I'm working. Like, I'm not very good at vulnerability at all. Right. So when people were like, oh my God, this changed my life, I'm like, good, nice to meet you. Thank you. I got to move on. Like, I have to keep going because there's work to be done. Right. Sit with that later. I sat with that later, and I was like, oh my God, like this was meaningful for people. And I've been seeing this like on threads and stuff, where people are talking about, obviously I have a lot of trauma, right? I can't deal with vulnerability. Please don't get emotional in front of me. I don't want to cry. I don't want to process emotions. A lot of time when I'm in the midst of doing the work, I can't process, right? So it comes off like, asshole, whatever. I don't care. But then later, when I'm sitting with it, is when I'm like, oh my God, like, we did this thing, and people appreciated it, connected with it. They found joy in it. Everything that we wanted, everything that we first came together and said, this is what we want to do for the community. We saw it that weekend, or people were telling us, or in the feedback that we were getting afterwards, through messages, through our Discord. We have a Discord channel for ticket holders, whatever the case, or people sharing their stories and stuff on Instagram and tagging us. That's when it was like, holy shit, like, this worked. Like, we did what we set out to do, and let's do it again, but I'm telling you right now, in the midst of it, Donnell's in my ear on the walkie-talkie. Kenyatta's walking around with coochie cutter shorts on, distracting me. Remember year one? It was 70 degrees
Yes,
that
it was
weekend.
a hot day. It was a hot day in
And
October.
she came in
And
there with
I
booty
did what I
shorts
had
on.
to do. I did what I had to do.
Okay. But it was a beautiful weekend. But both years, it's definitely a lot, and I don't want that point to be missed at all. It is a lot of work.
It's a low price.
I want to highlight one more success before we move on, but it's not only did we see the joy from our attendees, but remember, one of our things that we wanted to make sure we included in the convention was experts, and making sure that fat people were being paid and being heard with their expertise. But the speakers were just phenomenal, did a phenomenal job. But also they came back and said, listen, this was a big deal for me to speak in front of a crowd and to share my knowledge, and now I know I can do it. It was a big confidence booster and validating for our speakers to have this opportunity, the platform to do this too. So we saw it from that end as well.
Yeah, I can speak to that too. So as a speaker this past fall there, I chaired a panel of folks who were talking about sex and sexuality. And one really cool thing that I think mattered to me a lot, doing the podcast, I'm not in all the numbers. I don't get to see who's listening and all of that kind of stuff. But sitting up there, I simply introduced myself, and I said I was the co-host of Fat and Fucked. And a bunch of people started cheering in the audience. Like, people who were actually
there
listening to this podcast were like, I was sitting in a room with them. And that was so special to me, to just be in a place where our people were together and I was with them. And it was just like, I don't know, it was really awesome to just have that moment myself.
Awesome. Yes. And thank you for coming too and doing that. Yeah,
of course.
Definitely.
It was delightful. I loved it.
Yeah.
Any other, I mean, besides all of the hard work, which of course it would take to put something like that together, any other struggles that you all dealt with?
I mean, we could probably do an hour-long podcast just on the struggles, to be honest, but we won't bore people being negative Nancy's.
Hi, haters.
They're out there, and some of it has been people in the fat community. We had a flurry of like negative conservative media the first year, and then like nobody cared about it, so it went away, and like they never bothered us again. We did get like a weird, like, can the guy who's on Howard Stern sometimes like come and be a media member at PhillyFatCon? And we were like, definitely not.
Absolutely not.
It was like his intern or something, who knows? But, you know, I think just beyond the, you know, just general hardship in creating a grassroots event, that we don't have like a huge big name sponsor. Y'all see like our sponsors, right? Nobody's like writing a check for the whole convention.
Mm-hmm.
Yet.
And then, yet is a good point though, but we live in a very old city. And one of the hardest things to do is find a venue for us that has chairs that are appropriate and comfortable, that has an elevator, that has a ramp, that the space is big enough for. And last year, actually, the original venue that we had, the University of the Arts, not news to anyone in Philadelphia, but they announced their closure like immediately in June, and we had to scramble to find a new venue.
Mm-hmm.
So every single thing that you can think of that we might have had to redo or we came across, it happened to us during this. And we know it will continue to do that. But I think also one of the biggest successes is that we're all still like friends and want to do this together. And I think we try to just like ignore the haters that Adrian mentioned. We also don't engage with any like negative or fat phobic stuff on Instagram. Not even to like get the views like some people do. We just block and delete everybody.
Yeah. You know, the haters are very few. You know, we definitely have more people that appreciate PhillyFatCon, appreciate us and all the work that we've done. And so I think that's another thing that just keeps us pumped and keeps us going, is like, we know we have supporters. We know that people appreciate it.
I was just going to ask the next question, but this would be a good time for the game.
So we're going to play a little game. I think we gave you a heads up about this. So the game is called You're All Fabulous, But. And so the whole point of the game is we're going to throw out a question like, who is most likely to pull an all-nighter? And you all have to sort of decide which one of you is most likely to do whatever the thing is. So let's start with that one. Who is most likely to pull an all-nighter?
All-nighter doing what?
Doesn't matter.
Right.
I would say Kenyatta on the burlesque stage.
Ooh.
This is true. I pull all-nighters when I have nothing to do.
She's always out there. First of all, none of us are pulling all-nighters for work anymore. Like, we're old. We're elder
millennials.
Mm-hmm.
We did our partying in our 20s. But Kenyatta is still out here in the streets, going to concerts in the middle of the week.
Yeah.
Yep.
Who is the biggest procrastinator?
Probably Kenyatta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Who has the sassiest mouth?
Probably
Adrian.
me.
Adrian.
That's why we don't let her respond to Instagram DMs.
Shut up. Listen, I quit that job. Okay.
Who's the biggest morning person?
Ew. Not me. Donnell?
Right.
Like Donnell might be.
I'm not really a morning person, but I work like a corporate America job.
Mm-hmm.
So I tend to, especially when it comes to PhillyFatCon, like my whole team is in Central Time and I am in Eastern. So that like 8 to 9 a.m. time is when I have like a little bit more freedom to get stuff done, right? Before they log on. So yeah, probably just because of the nature of my job, I'm like up and going. Yeah.
Don't talk to me until 10 o'clock.
Yeah, I don't like.
On the flip side, who's the biggest night owl?
Adrian.
Yeah.
She's will stay up. I don't think she can hear us right now, but she'll stay up on her gummies going down rabbit holes on niche research topics at night. Can you hear us, Adrian? We said you're the biggest night owl.
All right. Who is the best at setting boundaries?
I love a boundary.
Yeah, probably Adrian. Because she's the one where like Kenyatta and I will be kind of like fretting about like a response that we got or like someone's question or something, and Adrian's like, "It's fine. No."
Yeah,
They
thinking
bring
about
their therapy rabbit.
I love a firm boundary, and this is the perfect space for that, because again, having a convention that is for fat folks and has lots of topics. This year we're going to have new topics and new speakers, but people want to see what they want to see, or they want to hear, or they want to have, and sometimes it's like, well, like we'll get there. But this is what we're doing. So if you want to do your thing, we'll support it. We are about collaboration, and we're fine with that. But like, this is how PhillyFatCon is rolling. Like, no harm, no foul. It's no beef.
Yes, we like the firm boundary.
All right. So last question for the game, because I want to hear this answer. Who's the best idea generator out of the bunch of you?
Oh, that's unfair to ask.
I know. So we all are phenomenal with ideas, but I don't think I've really ever told you this, but I do like the ideas that all of us come up with. But Donnell, when we get into what's coming for this year and the new topics that we have, it kind of came from the brain of Donnell Jagman. And so I'm excited to talk about what we got coming up new.
That's so sweet. Thanks.
How have you all been able to maintain your friendship through all of the hard work and stress of planning such a big event?
I think it really started, Adrian and I had already been friends for a few years. Like, even before PhillyFatCon, I went to Adrian's wedding reception. We celebrated holidays together. Our spouses know each other as well. We've met each other's moms. So we were actually really friends. And Adrian came to me when we started doing this, and she was like, I don't want this to ruin our friendship. Like, we have to know that there's PhillyFatCon and there's our friendship.
Boundaries. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we can get like, peeved at each other about PhillyFatCon stuff. But at the end of the day, when I had an emergency and needed somebody to come to my house, like, I called Adrian.
But the thing is, what you heard from Donnell when she's, talking about, hey, who did I call when I had an emergency? It was Adrian. And what did you hear when you heard like Adrian saying like, oh, I don't want this to ruin our friendship? It's mutual respect from my end, because my relationship with these two was woven into PhillyFatCon. I didn't have this.
You can say forced.
Forced. Against my will. I didn't have this relationship with them outside of this entity. It kind of came woven into it. And even with that, it was about patience on my end, learning who these two were in the group chat when everything's going so fast. Maybe I can't keep up, and maybe I have an idea, but maybe I can't say it right now because it was already done. And It's about patience and learning who these two people are. Not only were we talking about PhillyFatCon stuff, we were talking about each other and catching up with each other in live stuff. And it allowed me to, first of all, learn who these were, but I had to learn patience in that too. And when you're giving someone patience, that's mutual respect. And so that's how I think not only did I be able to make friends with these two and continue to maintain it the last 3 years, but us as a whole, it's about respect.
Yeah. And definitely showing up for each other, like Donnell alluded to, going to each other's events. Kenyatta had a soiree the first year in 2022. And it was like, okay, let's support Kenyatta in her event that she's putting on. Let's show up for each other. We show up for each other in all sorts of different ways, whether it's just like personal, family, friendship stuff, or if it's business stuff outside of PhillyFatCon. It's like show up, support, be there to respect each other and have patience with each other. And Kenyatta, I'm so glad that you mentioned that, because that's something that I guess I haven't really thought of. But like, having the patience with each other. And then of course, for you coming into a situation where Donnell and I were already friends, I guess I hadn't considered that it might have been a little rocky for you, considering you didn't really know us that well. So I'm glad that you mentioned that. And thank you for being our friend.
Welcome.
Thank you all for being our friends too, because it is official. We are all friends now.
Yes.
Yay!
We're gonna force it. So
We actually,
a little bit of your own medicine.
yeah.
This is what it is.
What's kind of funny about that is like Adrian and I, especially when we started like when we had the first swap, and honestly, like that was nuts because I had no idea that people were going to come, and then like 75 people came to like a barn in Philadelphia to trade their clothes with each other. And we have always said, like, you can sit with us.
Yeah.
You will have a friend at a PhillyFatCon event or a Plus Swap event, whether or not you brought anybody with us. Like, we are the anti-mean girls, even though sometimes we like, you know, have to set our boundaries or be snarky or whatever. But if you come and you don't have a friend, like, we're also going to be your friend because we're all friends and we want what we have for other people too.
Yeah. And you'll make friends. You'll leave with friends. That's almost a guarantee. For the past 2 years, we've certainly seen people that have come from out of town, outside of Philadelphia, outside of the state of Pennsylvania, who have come to PhillyFatCon and have literally met people at PhillyFatCon, and now they're best of friends. And that's beautiful to see, right? We love to see the growth, right? We love to see people open themselves up for something new, something different, a challenge. For a lot of people, like sort of going through that hurdle of either coming by yourself or meeting new people, it can be a hurdle. And again, we understand that. And so we have built into PhillyFatCon these opportunities for people to be a little less jittery going into convention weekend. So we have our Discord that allows people to chat with each other online, to plan with each other. You know, some people might need to talk about carpooling or finding an Airbnb they want to share, or anything for that matter, like where to eat, all these kind of, you know, Philly-centric questions that people might have. Well, there's somebody in the Discord that's going to help you out. There's somebody that's going to say, hey, I'm coming by myself. Does anyone want to hang for the weekend or whatever? Let's go out for dinner afterward. So we offer that. We offer the welcome party, which is the day before the convention weekend. And that's another opportunity for ticket holders to sort of get together. And it's very low key. It's, you know, it's not like an official part of the convention, but it's like, again, it's allowing people to like in a sort of relaxed environment to kind of like get to know each other, check each other's outfits out. Where did you buy that? Where are you coming from? Where did, you know, all these kind of things that you can get to know people. So we've sort of built that into PhillyFatCon to give people those opportunities who are a little bit more timid about stepping out on their own, stepping out of their comfort zone. We certainly understand that as well. I can be, you know, when I'm out on my own, going places on my own, I could be very introverted. I don't really want to chat with a lot of people, or I feel awkward. I don't know where to stand. I don't know how to hold this cup or whatever. And you find somebody across the room who is sort of looking the same way, and you're like, oh, maybe I can go say hi to this person. They look like they're in an awkward situation too. And then it's not awkward anymore, you know, once you open yourself up to opportunity, I think.
That's wonderful. So let's dive into the PhillyFatCon. You have already started planning for the 3rd annual PhillyFatCon. What are some of the new things that you all have planned for this new year?
The biggest, most exciting thing is the space, in my opinion, because we really committed this year to a true professional meeting space. We're going to be at CYTO, it's CYTO, Philadelphia, and it is actually connected to the 30th Street Amtrak station in Philadelphia by an air bridge. So you don't even have to leave the building if you ride Amtrak or take regional rail. And it is a beautiful new space. I think it's 2 years old.
I think it's wow.
Yeah.
Same ages.
And everyone that is there for convention day 1, which is on a Saturday, and is going to get breakfast and lunch. And then everyone who's there for Sunday will get breakfast again, included in your ticket. We're really trying to up the value. The value has always been there. It's really expensive to do these things, but upgrade the perceived value of the ticket and just make it easier for people to attend.
Yeah.
Food at conferences is the tits. Like very few of the conferences that I go to offer food, and the ones that do, it's like, oh my God, even if it's not good food, it's wonderful. So I love it.
Yeah. We're
Right.
hoping
It's
it'll
such a
also be
huge
good,
expense.
but
Yeah.
Yeah, we think it will be good from what we saw.
yeah.
But yeah, for it to already be included in the ticket price, that allows people to adequately budget for this, especially if they're coming out of town. I mean, we know where things are economically for people at this point, so it's such a huge value to be fed 3 meals, especially if you're coming the whole
Yeah.
convention.
And we have some exciting developments for the after party too.
Yes, we're at a different location this time. So yes, for PhillyFatCon After Dark, not only do we have Cido, which is going to be a true convention space, but we have a beautiful performance venue that we're going to be able to host at World Cafe Live in Philadelphia. It's just such a beautiful performance space with a beautiful stage, lighting, meals. You're going to also get fed there as well.
VIPs will get
for
fed
our,
there. Yeah.
for our VIP ticket holders. And so I'm super excited about this show. The After Dark portion of PhillyFatCon, which has historically been about burlesque performances and showcasing this sexiness of the fat body, has always been a hit. Has always been a big hit for our convention. So I'm excited. I'm excited for my own shit this year.
Really let loose at the end of the day, and I love to like just scream if I see some fat ass shaking on titties swinging, thighs shaking, booties, moving and grooving. That's where I can like really let loose. I'm screaming my head off. I'm clapping. I'm throwing dollars. It's a great way to like end the day and sort of, we're all there obviously in a working capacity, but we're all still having fun. We're enjoying the party as well because sort of the party takes care of itself because our performers are all professionals. This is like literally what they do every weekend or every month or so. So they already know how to handle it. It's like, babe, I got it. We have a host
right.
introducing so we can kind of lay back and enjoy the show. And that is definitely one of my favorite parts of the convention. And at least the first day is like, I can like let my hair down. And, if you saw me earlier in the day and I was looking very tense and, all of that is gone by Saturday night.
Yeah. PhillyFatCon After Dark truly is transformative for people. So not only are you going to get the amazing the marketplace during the day and the speakers during the day, at nighttime you get a chance to see something that you just don't get a chance to see anywhere else. Fat bodies on display in sexiness.
Yeah.
And so that
and a costume
alone,
party. You get a costume party with just fat people. And I know that's an area that, has been traumatizing for a lot of us. Costumes, fitting them, whatever. People really go all out. We have new speakers and new panels every year. We did just secure our 2025 keynote speaker. Her name is Dr. Brianne Foz. She's a professor, and she has a book coming out this September called Fat and Furious.
Ooh, love it.
Yes.
I just got goosebumps.
So she is going to come and talk, give our keynote talk about her book and about radical anti-fatness. And we're so excited because I think that this will empower a lot of folks, and also they can maybe hopefully relate to some of the anger that we feel about fat phobia too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that anger is the appropriate response.
Mm-hmm.
Shame and, internalized fat phobia is not. Anger is. I love that.
Yeah.
Fat and
I mean, at this point right now, fatness is under attack. I mean, there's always sort of been fat phobia is always in the air, right? But now it's with Ozempic and the GLP-1 drugs, fatness is under attack, right? And so again, at PhillyFatCon, the purpose of PhillyFatCon is to give people a reprieve from that. You can come to this convention and enjoy a week-long convention with no one saying, you need to lose weight. Weight loss is the key. Weight loss is going to save your life. Nothing like that, right? We're just talking about everyday issues that the fat community is dealing with, whether it's fat phobia, joy, experiencing fat joy, giving people the opportunity to shop in our marketplace with vendors who specifically are for fat folks, whether that's like our clothing vendors. We want our clothing vendors to go up, past a 4X, a 5X, 6X, the bigger, the better. Like we want people to feel comfortable and seen and heard. You know, our voices are often drowned out. The more marginalized you are, the more they try to shut you down. And I want to make another point of saying, you know, part of another one of our pillars when we were talking about putting PhillyFatCon together was to make sure that we were giving a platform to the most marginalized people, to Black women and men and people of color, to trans folks, to people who are routinely left out of the conversation. And even in a space like the fat community, those voices are often drowned out. So we wanted to make sure that our speakers and our panelists and stuff, that there was a nice variety of people represented who often are left out of these conversations. So we want to make sure that they're heard. And I don't mind saying it, like, I want people to pay for that. That's why we pay them as well. And that was another important part of this is if you're talking about a Black person or a person of color who is fat, they're at the lowest rung of being, we already know fat people get paid less, but imagine being a fat Black woman or a fat, you know, person of color who's trans. They're at the bottom of being paid. So we want to make sure that, you know, we give all of our people who participate are paid just a wage that shows our appreciation for their time, their expertise. So that's another super important part of why we put PhillyFatCon together.
Yeah, I think that's so valuable and so important. Just like I love what you said about you have certain values that go into making the convention. It's not just about putting it on, it's about putting it on with your values invested in it. And I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we've had people reach out to us that they're asking us to do things that are the antithesis of our values. If anyone was to go on our Instagram or go on our website and actually look at what PhillyFatCon is, there's no way they should have the nerve to reach out to us about weight loss. There's no way they should have the nerve to have a drug company reach out to us to be involved in weight loss drugs.
Yeah.
They have, aka they have.
And even the conservative crowd, like we dealt with in year one. I'm sorry, are you lost? Like, why are you asking us for media passes? Like, we're not new to this, right? We're true.
Like, did you think we were going to say yeah?
How things get flipped on their head, and we saw, you know, some of that. I didn't dare to Google PhillyFatCon year one because there were a lot of like the conservative college blogs that were just like, oh, the fatties are getting together, and like the same lame jokes about food, about, you know, about earthquakes, whatever the stupid lame middle school, you know, if you survive middle school, that's fat.
Yeah.
Then baby, you can't say anything to me today that I hadn't heard in 6th grade, you know, like grow up. So that's why we were kind of like, we're not dealing with that kind of stuff. Like we know that, you know, we know that these bloggers and stuff are not here for our benefit. They're not here for our, you know, attendees' benefit. They're here to talk shit. Talk shit anyway. So you're not getting an invitation from us to do that in our face.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have a few other small things that you will see throughout the year when we start releasing tickets. We will actually have a podcast recording studio this year. So if you are a podcast, you will be able to rent the studio for an hour, maybe 90 minutes, and we'll try to keep it super affordable for you guys. And we'll have all the specs and everything. And this year we are introducing a new concept called the Professional Roundtable. And this is a private meeting space for professionals to talk to each other. It will be a supplement to the ticket, still pretty low cost, and it will be those professionals only. We haven't picked all the subcategories yet. I think we'll have 2 or 3 of them. And for example, one of them would be sex therapists. And so you would just be in a room with 6 to 8 sex therapists with a moderator, and y'all can discuss whatever you need to, whether it's patients or approaches or training or certifications. No audience, and really just a time for you to work within your own professional community too. And we're going to hopefully have 2 or 3 of those.
Awesome. Yes.
I think that's all we really have to share so far about what is coming. And, you have to follow us to learn what the panels are and who the vendors are.
Absolutely. It's only April, and this is not until
Yeah.
the tail end of October, early November. So there is room for even more to come up, depending on who contacts us, wink, wink, or whatever, people want to be involved, wink, wink. But yes, that's what we have so far.
Yeah.
Our early bird ticket pricing, we like to say that's the best opportunity because those tickets are on a discount. So, start saving up your coins now to get the early bird ticket pricing that runs for a full month. It might be a month and a half. We have to work out the schedule. But early bird ticket prices come first. And then after the early bird, then comes the regular prices. So we typically have people who are like the first day tickets come out. They're on it because they're paying attention. They're following us. They know. Also, they want to save a couple coins, right? So they're like the early adopters. And then we have the people who are like the last minute. I'm going to buy my VIP ticket at full price 1 week before PhillyFatCon. And we love that. We love that too. We love to see it. We love to see it. And I will say the VIP ticket, that ticket has the most value. So that ticket encompasses 4 meals. So the 2 during the day on Saturday, 1 on Saturday evening at the party, and then Sunday during the day. So that's a 4-meal ticket. All the other tickets are either 2 meals or 3 meals. But that's when that's when we start to get the jitters, is when it's early bird ticket time. That's when we're like frantically like checking, like, okay, how many tickets sold today? How many tickets sold today? Because we know that's the best opportunity for people to like get in there and save a couple coins. But there's going to be like latecomers who come, they're figuring out their schedule. They're the ones that are brunching on the weekends or taking trips or doing, and they're like, am I going to be busy that weekend? Maybe, maybe not. And they're waiting until the last minute. We love you. We see you. We appreciate you too. Thank you.
Also, another thing that we didn't mention is accommodations for those who are coming out of town or for those who are here in Philly and just want to really enjoy the full convention experience of staying in the convention hotel. We're going to have a room block available for our ticket holders at the Sheraton University City location. And so it's going to be at our special convention rate. Which will be affordable, but that is an option for our ticket holders as well, accommodations. And so between meals, PhillyFatCon After Dark, the marketplace, new state-of-the-art convention space, an amazing After Dark location at World Cafe Live, and then having accommodations at Sheraton University City is going to be an amazing experience.
The rate at the Sheraton is $225 a night. Now, for people who don't regularly visit Philadelphia,
that
might sound like sticker shock, but we assure you this is the best possible per night rate for a hotel within walking distance of the convention center.
Yes, we have checked multiple times. We have haggled and tried to get that price down to right where it is. So it is the best price. You're getting great value.
So the convention this year, 3rd annual PhillyFatCon, the first day of PhillyFatCon 2025 is Saturday, November 1st. And that night we will have the after party, which will be a costume party, have the burlesque. Second convention day will start on the 2nd on Sunday morning and go through about midday. You can also count on having a welcome party on Friday night if you get into town then. And you'll have a great time the whole weekend. And early bird ticket sales will go on sale in August.
Get ready to party with us for a 3rd year. We love to see people come back. There's going to be the girlies who are like collecting their VIP swag bags. Okay, so we're going to have all new swag this year for the VIP girlies. People who are just like returning because they loved last year. We'd love to see them back, and we can't wait to meet all the new people that are going to come as well. Make sure that you tell your friends, drag your friends out with you, force your friends to come. We're all forced friends here. PhillyFatCon to enjoy the experience. If you've been before, share your experience with your friends. Let them know how it made you feel, what you experienced, because it's going to be the best year yet. It's going to be the best year yet.
I want to give a quick
Yes.
shout out to our early sponsors. So as many of you know, we are completely essentially self-funded. And especially until ticket sales happen, we count on sponsorship dollars to make this happen. We have returning with us is Radiance Medical. Dr. Vicky is a primary care physician in Philadelphia, and she will be back as a super sponsor this year for the 3rd year. We are so excited for her continued support. Big Fig is coming back also for the 3rd year as a super sponsor. We continue to appreciate them, and rumor has it they're going to be back at PhillyFatCon in person with another mattress, and I bet you they're going to give away another sleep system. It's a great chance to get a free bed. In addition to that, we have a brand new sponsor. It's a clothing company actually out of Germany that sells plus size clothing, also here in the US, called Ola Popkin. And they are coming on as a first-year sponsor at the Infinity level, which is our highest level sponsorship. And we're so excited to have them on and share more about them with you.
That's amazing. Thank you for sharing those. That's great. I'm so glad you've had luck getting sponsors so early on.
We're hoping for so many more. So if you're a business that wants to sponsor, even small businesses, we have a great sponsorship program for small business owners where you can attend as part of your sponsorship package. And honestly, the possibilities are endless.
Wonderful.
Great.
So where can people find you?
The best place to find us is on Instagram at PhillyFatCon. And when we get our event website up this year, the link will be in the bio there. And you can also follow us on Threads.
Yes. We love to have little chats and conversations on Threads. So you can follow us on Instagram and Threads at PhillyFatCon.
And if you don't have Instagram, send us an email, info@PhillyFatCon.com, and we will get you on our email list so that you can get all the updates, even if you're not on socials.
Wonderful. And I'll put all of that in the show notes for our listeners.
Thank you.
We are so thankful for your time that you've given us today and for the community that you all continue to build through PhillyFatCon. It's so important, so meaningful, and really thank you for all of the hard work. I can't even imagine the time and energy commitment, but you sure are changing hearts and minds. So thank you again. And as always, for everyone out there, be fat, be fab, and be free. Bye-bye.
That's a wrap. Woo.
Yeah.